This should be 2 plus 24 minus 5, which is 26 minus 5. That would be 21. You have to do 3 times 4 to get 12. And then once you get 12, you have to do 12 divided by 6, and then 2 times 5.
That divide sign was
3 minus 1 is 2. So you put the 2 down and keep everything else the same. And 2 squared is 4, so it's going to be 4 times 4. So that's 16 plus 12, which is 28. You have to do 1 plus 3, which is 4, and then square it to get 16. You do 1 plus 3 to get 4, and then square it to get 16, times 2 is 32. And then 16 divided by 8 is 2, times 2 is 4. Final answer should be 36. Six plus 3 times 2, that's 6. And then 5 times 1 is 5, and plus the 7. That gives you 12, and this gives you 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. Pick a number from 1 to 5. Winning number is 2. Today's objective is to finish up on long division and then go back to mixed numbers, improper fractions, and if time allows, we'll do positive and negative numbers. First example, I want to divide 7 into 3,142 and round to the tenths place. What is the first thing I do?
how many times 7 go into 3?
Will 7 go into 3?
No.
So what do we do next?
7 into 31.
7 into 31. How many times will 7 go into 31?
3.
3 times would be 21.
4.
4 times would be 28.
6.
So when we do 4 times for 28, we have 3 left over. If your number here that you're left with is less than that, then you've gone in as high as you can go. But if this number is higher than this or the same, you did not go in enough. Alright, so our difference was 3. What do we do next?
Bring the 4 down.
How many times will 7 go into 34?
4 times.
4 times would be 28, and you're left with 6. 6 is less than 7, so that's as high as it could go. What do I do next?
Bring the 2 down.
So if I bring the 2 down, I have a 62, and how many times will 7 go into 62?
6 times.
6 times would be 42.
9 times.
9 times would be 63. 8 times would be 56. We have 6 left over. Now what do I do?
Bring 0 down.
I don't have any zeros. What should I do?
Put the 6 at the top.
Nope, we're not going to put the 6 at the top. if we don't have any zeros, what should we put in there?
7.
There's something missing from the end of this number that we should write since we're going to the tenths place. What should I put at the end of that? The what?
A 0.
A decimal?
A decimal. I put a decimal there. Where else can I put a decimal point? Straight above it. And then what can I put after the decimal point?
A 0.
How many zeros should I put?
2.
2, because I'm going to the tenths place, so I need to have one beyond that. Now what should I do?
Bring a 0
Bring a 0
down.
down. How many times will 7 go into 60?
5 times.
5 times is 35.
That's it. Multiplication term. 8 times.
8 times. So I have to move over to here. 8 times would be 56, and when I subtract, I have 4 left over. What should I do next?
Bring the other 0 down.
How many times will 7 go into 40?
5 times.
5 times. And that's all we need to know, but we can check it. And we do have 5 left over, which is less than 7. 448.85. I'm rounding to the tenths place. What number is currently in the tenths place?
5.
5 is in the 100ths place.
Oh, the 10th or
The tenths place.
The 8.
yeah,
The 8 is there. So I have to look to the number beside it. Is this 5 or higher?
It'd be
Yes.
448.
It is 5 or higher, so we would have to round this to what?
448.9.
Yes. 448.9.
Can you have one on top, please?
Well, on this problem, 6 goes into 7 once, with 1 left over, and then into 13 twice, for 12, 1 left over, and into 14 twice with 2 left over, into 28 4 times, with 4 left over. And we have to drop a 0. So 6 into 40 6 times, with 4 left over, and it's going to repeat after that. If you round to the tenths place, it's 1224.7.
Dang it.
On this problem, 4 goes into 9 twice for 8. And you have 1 left over. Drop the 6. 4 goes into 16 4 times. Nothing is left over, but drop the 7. 4 goes into that once, with 3 left over, and into 35 8 times, with 3 left over. We're going to have to drop that 0 over here. And 4 goes into that 7 times for 28. 2 left over, drop the 0, and 4 into that 5 times. So you should be left with 2418.8. On this problem, 9 will not go into 4, but it will go into 43 4 times with 7 left over. And 9 into 77 8 times with 5 left over. Into 56 6 times with 2 left over. Need some zeros. 9 into 20 twice for 18. And you have 2 left over on that, so it's going to go in twice again. 486.2. We're going to go back to mixed numbers and improper fractions. So if I had 24 over 11, and I had to change that to a mixed number, what is my first move?
Numbers go evenly into both.
No. I don't need to see what numbers go evenly into both because I'm changing it to a mixed number. I only need to do one division.
Divide
24 by 11. How many times will 11 go into 24? 2 times. And what is 2 times 11?
22.
So how much is left over?
2.
2. And what do I do with it?
Add 2.
Add 2?
Minus 2.
No. I have 2 left over. A mixed number is a whole number and a fraction together. So I already have the whole number here.
2 11s.
Yes, 2 over 11. The remainder goes there. You use this denominator. Reduce if you can. 2 over 11 cannot be reduced. 35 over 10. I want to change that to a mixed number. What do I do first? How many times will 10 go into 35? 3 times. With how many left over?
5.
What do I do with it?
Divide.
No.
0
A what?
10.
0 over 10? We just put 10 into 35 3 times. 10 times 3 is 30. How much is left over?
0.
No.
Oh, 5.
We have 5. 5 left over, but what do I do with it?
5 over 10.
5 over 10. Can I reduce 5 over 10? What do I reduce it to?
5.
How do I reduce a fraction?
Divide.
Divide what?
5 over 10.
Divide 5 and 10 by what?
3.
3 will not go into 5 or 10.
2.
Nope, 2 won't go into 5. Must be able to go into both numbers.
5.
5 will go into both of them. 5 into itself how many times? How many times does it go into 10?
2.
3 1/2 is the answer. 42 over 15. What do I do first? How many times does 15 go into 42?
Twice.
Twice, yes. What is 15 times 2? 30. So if 15 times 2 is 30 and we started with 42, what's left over?
12.
What do I do with that 12?
12 over 15.
Can I reduce 12 over 15?
Yes.
How do I reduce 12 over 15? Okay, what number does go into both evenly?
6.
6 will not go into 15.
5.
5 will not go into 12.
2.
2 will not go into 15.
4.
4 will not go into 15.
3.
3 will go into both of them. How many times does 3 go into 12?
4.
How many times does it go into 15?
5.
2 and 4/5 is the answer. What do I do first?
Sometimes 9 goes into 56.
So how many times does 9 go into 56?
4.
If it goes in 4 times, you would have 36, and the difference is 20, which means it's higher than 9. We could have gone some more.
6 times. 54.
6 times, and it would be 54. We have 2 left over. What do I do with it?
You put it
2
on
over.
the up. Yeah.
6 and 2 over 9. On the practice problem, 12 will go into 20 how many times?
Once.
Once. With how many left over?
8.
Can I reduce 8 over 12?
Yeah.
What number goes into both of them?
2.
2. So if I cut them both down by 2, 2 into 8 how many times? 8 divided by 2 is what?
4.
Yeah. And 12 divided by 2 is what?
6.
Can I reduce 4 over 6?
Yeah.
What number goes into both of them?
2.
What is 4 divided by 2?
4.
4 divided by 2 is not 4. 2. What is 6 divided by 2?
3.
15 will go into 28 one time, with 13 left over. To find the greatest common factor between these two numbers, let's find the prime factorization for 36, which we can start with 4 and 9, and then go to 2, 2, 3, 3. For 45, we can start with 9 and 5, and then break it up as 3 and 3. These are the numbers we need to look at. We have a pair of 3s here and a pair of 3s there. Nothing else can match up. So the greatest common factor is 9.